Welcome ladies and gentlemen. In today's video we will be installing a new set of front and rear pads, and more specifically the Ferodo DS2500. We will also be installing Centric Preimum rotors then, and since previously I've been running Carbotech XP10 pads up front and XP8 on the rears with their own set of rotors, but I have switched back to the OEM pad and rotor setup. So the 30th anniversary do come with the Brembos front calipers and the Nissan rear calipers, which is similar across all ND platforms. I don't know if I have ruined these pads because they're more of a track pad, but I've been running them on the street, and I don't know if it shows more or if it's actually the fact that I have ruined them, because they do dust like hell and they have started to sound or squeal more and more and more. So I couldn't stand washing the wheels more or less after each drive. So I did switch back to the OEM setup, but I thought I will try out the Ferodo setup, which is a lot of a middle ground. So we can do some track use, at least some light track use, and still use these for the streets. And hopefully that will work out well. So we will see, but I will still keep the Carbotechs in case I want to do some more heavy track driving, but I don't think that will happen. I have done a similar installation video in the past, and that video will be a little bit more detailed, so I will refer you to that. But in this video I will still show you how it's done on a car with Brembo front calipers and also the Nissan rear calipers, which is similar across all ND platforms. So that's the intention of today's video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below in the comment sections. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Do remember to subscribe. But with that said, let's get on with the installation. Next is then to obviously to get the car up in the air. In my case, I do have a little bit of a cheat code nowadays, as I do have my scissor lift, but if you have jack and jack stands or similar, that works just as well. And just to remember to lift the car on the appropriate spots then. Once the car is up in the air, the next is then to remove the wheels in order to be able to get to the calipers, the pads and the rotor. And I will start with removing the pads first, and these are held in place with 2 pins, as you can see, and these pins are held in place with a clip that puts tension on these 2 pins so they don't rattle out or vibrate out while you're driving. So what we will need to do is use a pin punch, and we will from the outside, meaning from when you look at the caliper from the outside, use a pin punch or similar and punch the pins out. The first one will require a little bit more force, as the clip do then put pressure on these 2 pins. Once the first one is out, the second one is more easy to remove. Once we have both out, we can remove the clip. We can then remove the 2 pads, and it might require a little bit of wiggle to remove them because the pistons from the caliper might be pushing them inwards a little bit then. Once you have those out, we can set them aside. And next step is then to tackle to remove the caliper. So we do have 2 17mm bolts, and once we have broken those loose and removed them, but before you do that step, do remember to have some zip tie or similar so you can hang the caliper so they don't hang on the brake lines, which then can damage your brake lines. Once the caliper is set aside safely, we can then remove the rotors, and the rotor might have bonded to the hub depending on how you drive, water, etc, etc. I used a rubber mallet to remove my rotors. You need to be a little bit careful if you then need to reuse your rotors, but there is also a place where you can actually insert a screw which will then push the rotor out, but I did not have such a screw then, so I just used a rubber mallet, and potentially I would then anyways replace my rotors. Once we have the rotor out, we need to prepare the new one, and what I mean with prepare is that they do come with a thin film of oil on top of or on the surface of the rotor, that is to prevent rust. So you need to remove this thin film, so you need to use brake clean or something similar. Then take your time and remove all of the oil, because we don't want any of that to contaminate the pads, because that will obviously then impact our brake performance. Once the rotors are fully cleaned, we can then install them on the car, and then we can reinstall the caliper, and I will link down to the torque specs in the description box and to the workshop manual so you can have a look for yourself. And once the caliper is in place and everything is torqued down, we then can prep the new pads And the pads do get installed with the OEM shims. I just do this to minimize any brake squeal. And also what I'll do is to dab a little bit of ceramic paste then on the back side of these shims, again then to reduce potential any risk of brake squeal. What we will have to do next is then to decompress the pistons, because they are always a little bit pushed inwards then, and it will make it difficult to put the new pads in place. But before we do that, we will open the hood and then open the lid for the brake fluid reservoir. That is just to release any pressure that will come when we do then decompress the pistons. And I will use clamps like this to decompress the pistons, and I will do one side at a time. So we have 2 pistons on the inner side and 2 pistons on the outer side. And once that is done, then we can insert the new pads. You don't have to push them in all the way, because if you remember, then we need to insert the pins that goes through these small little holes in the pads. Once the pads are in, we can then put the clip in place and then insert one of the pins one at a time. So we will start from the inner side, meaning from the inner wheel well. Then we will punch it with the pin punch into the holes on the caliper, and we will punch it not too hard, but until it doesn't move anymore, and then we will do similar to the next pin. Once that is done, we are finished with one side of the front brake setup. Then we will attack the next side, and once that is done, we will go back and do the rear brakes. The rear brake setup consists mainly of the caliper, which is the orange part, and a caliper bracket. We need to remove both in order to be able to remove the rotors, and also to be able to remove the pads, we need to remove the caliper. Before we start, release the handbrake. Then we will break loose the 2 12mm bolts that go into 2 slider pins on the caliper. The slider pins can be held in place with a 17mm wrench. Once the bolts are removed, securely place the caliper or hang it so you don't damage the brake lines or the caliper itself. Next, we will remove the 2 14mm bolts holding the caliper bracket. Once that is done, we can remove the 2 pads that are in the caliper bracket. And we do have a guide plate on top and a guide plate on the bottom where the pads do sit. Remove the rotor and prepare the new one and install the new rotor back on the car. The next step is then to prepare the new pads. We will transfer over the shims from the old pads to the new pads, and also we will put some ceramic paste on the ears on the pads. This in order for the pads to glide more freely in the guide plates. We will also apply some ceramic paste on one of the shims. That is the shim that is on the pad that will be on the outside, meaning the pad that's closest to the wheel, because we have 2 ears on the caliper which then presses onto the shim, and therefore we do apply the ceramic paste just to reduce the risk of getting any squeal. Next step is then to reinstall the caliper bracket. We will torque down the 2 14mm bolts. Once that is done, we can insert the new pads into the guide plates. It can be a little bit tricky, but once you get hang of it, it's quite straightforward. Before we reinstall the caliper, there are 2 things we need to do. One is to apply silicone grease on the slide pins. Once that is done, we can insert them back into the dust boots. However, the dust boot will create sort of a vacuum when we do insert the slide pins, so do lift the edge up a little bit on the dust boot while pressing down on the slide pin, and that will press out any air you might have in the dust boot. The second step we need to do is to align the piston, so we will rotate it with a similar tool that I have now, and we will slowly turn it clockwise, and that will push the piston in, and we will push it in completely, and it should align with the inspection hole you have on the caliper. The inspection hole is facing towards the car. Once the groove on the piston is then aligning with that, you know that you have the piston set correctly, and now we can reinstall it on the car. And the reason why we do this is because the pads do have a guiding pin, we could say, that goes into this groove, and that needs to align with the groove so that the brakes do operate properly. We will then torque down the 2 12mm bolts that goes into the slider pins, and we will reuse the 17mm wrench, and that is what needs to be done with regards to installing the rear brakes. The installation of the Ferodo DS2500 pads and the Centric Preimum rotors have been completed all around. Everything is torqued down. I will link down below in the description box to the workshop manual with all the specifications so you can have a look by yourself. And I have also bled the brakes using my motive power bleeder, as you can see here. So I did a dry bleed, so I didn't feel any fluid in here. I just did a dry bleed then. And as you can see, it wasn't that much that came out, and there wasn't any bubbles more or less that came out either, which is a good thing. The next step is then to mount back the wheels and take the car out for a drive, and I will do this late tonight, because according to the specifications of the Ferodo pads, we are supposed to perform 25 to 30 trial brake applications, each of approximately 4 seconds, using around 50% of normal race pedal pressure. So we will need to have a lot of open road and no cars behind us, so we can do this properly. Once all of those things have been done, the 25 to 30 brake applications is also to let everything cool down, so we don't want to apply any brake pressure if possible then. So that is why we need to do this on open road and very late, or at a track. So that is that. If you found today's video informational, give it a thumbs up. Do remember to subscribe. Leave your comments down below in the comment sections, or if you have any questions. But with that said, I'll be seeing you on the next one.